That was Chief Washington correspondent James Rosen reporting. Thank you, James, as always.
I'm just glad James didn't call me Mary. He discovered this week that my first name is Mary because it's on my badge. So he started to just call me Mary.
You just told everybody.
Mary.
Yeah, the jig is up. Everyone knows.
It's not like my first name is like Boomer or Rover.
No, that's not
Mary.
I would love if my first name were Boomer. I think I'd rock it.
Everything would change.
Well, from this day forward, we will call you Boomer.
Cool.
Captain Boomer Timpf.
So what's next, Mary?
Okay. Speakers of the Republican National Convention spent a third night relentlessly attacking Hillary Clinton, many of them framing their support for Donald Trump by turning on the presumptive Democratic nominee. Here's Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker.
The simple truth is, liberal Washington insiders created our problems. And Hillary Clinton is the ultimate liberal Washington insider. If she were any more on the inside, she'd be in prison. America deserves better than Hillary Clinton.
And Vice Presidential nominee Mike Pence did not hold back either.
You know, it was Hillary Clinton who helped undo all the gains of the troop surge, a staggering failure of judgment that set ISIS on the loose. It was Hillary Clinton who instigated the president's disastrous agreement with the radical mullahs in Iran. And it was Hillary Clinton who left Americans in harm's way in Benghazi, and after 4 Americans fell, said, "What difference at this point does it make?"
And it's an oldie but a goodie. Way back on Tuesday night, former prosecutor Chris Christie unloaded on Secretary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, as a failure for ruining Libya and creating a nest for terrorist activity by ISIS. Answer me now, is she guilty or not guilty? As an awful judge of the character of a dictator and butcher in the Middle East, is she guilty or not guilty? As a coddler of the brutal Castro brothers and betrayer of the family of fallen state trooper Werner Foster and his family, is she guilty or not guilty? Let's face the facts. Hillary Clinton cared more about protecting her own secrets than she cared about protecting America's secrets.
That one line, Monica, about she cared more about protecting her own secrets than the secrets of the American people, that might stick with her. But was all of this sum total too much of an attack on her?
No such thing during a political nominating convention as too much attack on the other side. And believe me, anybody who thinks that the Democrats are not going to smash Donald Trump every night next week are crazy. That's what conventions are for. That's what campaigns are for. You tear down the other side and you offer voters a positive, compelling reason to vote for you. But in terms of Mrs. Clinton, I mean, that line feeds right into this overall sentiment sweeping the Western world, including the United States, which is this normal people's revolt against the global elite and the status quo. And Mrs. Clinton is a card-carrying member of both.
And people at large, people feel two ways about Hillary. They're really not a fan, or they're like, eh. There's maybe like 14 people who are excited about Hillary Clinton.
And they're all on her payroll, too.
I know some. Her most ardent supporters come across often as delusional.
Yeah.
You cannot have a conversation with them about any of her flaws whatsoever.
And to Monica's earlier point about the double, I think people are seeing a double standard. They saw that with Hillary Clinton, the FBI's decision not to recommend an indictment. You're seeing that in the polls too. Look, you've got 92% of Americans that think she either broke the law or did something wrong. 56% of Americans that believe the FBI should have brought forward or recommended an indictment. 60% of independents and 1/3 of Democrats. So the sentiment that we're hearing from Republicans this week is not one that's exclusive to the Republican Party. This is what the broad sweeping majority of Americans believe in the country, including independents and 1/3 of Democrats.
Especially millennials. I mean, they were willing to be like, we're socialists. That's fine. We'll just be socialists rather
but we're not criminals.
Yeah.
But I actually, going back to Monica's your original point, you do have to tear down the other side, and this convention has done a very good job of that. You also have to put forward the positive ideas for why Donald Trump is going to be president, what he's going to do as president, and we haven't heard as much of that, in part because it's no secret that many Republicans are uncomfortable with having Donald Trump as the nominee. The one thing that really unites our party at this moment is Hillary Clinton being a potential president.
Yeah, have we heard enough of that, Monica? Because I've said that, I heard you say that on the air. It seems like that we need to get, maybe that's his job tonight.
Absolutely.
We heard it from the children.
Yeah.
And we heard it from Don Jr. and then Eric, but I don't know if that will stick in people's memories.
And you'll hear it again tonight, I think, from Ivanka when she introduces her father. And that was important to your point about reaching millennials, having the children have that. But you know what? Elections are about the future. They're not about the past.
Right.
So Mrs. Clinton has been on the national scene for 25 years. She's a known quantity. Everybody knows and sort of already built in the cake that she is pathologically criminal liar.
Yeah,
right.
People already know that about her, and some people are willing to accept that and vote for her anyway. What Donald Trump needs to do is offer this positive, compelling message and a vision for the country. I've always said, and I've said this for months, he only needs two things. He needs a strong pro-growth economic message and a strong national security message about smashing ISIS, dealing with Islamic fundamentalism, and building the military.
Making fun of, as we all know, making fun of Hillary Clinton is just so fun.
It is fun.
So I don't really
and easy.
And to those 2 points, too, I mean, if you look at polling, those are the issues that he leads with. He leads with the issue of jobs in the economy, and he also leads on destroying ISIS.
Those are the two, really the only two, and then she leads on
she's
the economy
a
and girl.
terrorism. She's a lady like
If I hear one more person say that women need to vote for her because she's a woman, that's the most sexist thing that I've ever
Men
heard.
can decide who to vote
about
for.
it.
That's for the men, but women, you don't get to pick. You got to vote for Hillary.
Or there's a special place in hell if you
Right,
don't,
I'm going to go to hell.
Somehow, because our reproductive parts match, then that makes me want to vote for you more.
Right.
It's so insulting. It's intellectually insulting to women to make that argument. And she's out there making that argument. A lot of her supporters are too.
Yeah.
That will help. Ultimately, that's what's going to potentially. Do you want to pivot to the woman talk and Ivanka? I know that we were going to talk about that, but I'm curious. I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but let's do that now. But here's Ivanka. There's a lot of. I'll let you take it.